Well, Mr. Impala is back. And the last video I think I made was doing the suspension, maybe. And I mentioned that I might be doing power steering, which this does not have. Is that right? I'm not sure. Let's see if I can get the light in here. There we go. It is not power steering, it's manual steering, which works fine. Don't get me wrong. You get your workout. But I want power steering. And I'm actually going to put the steering, like the steering box that is in the Impala, which is in hibernation right now, as is this. Basically putting the same steering box number. Don't remember, 500 or 605 or 1030. I don't know what it is. I don't remember what it is. But it's the same ratio, 14:1. And I believe the manual transmission, manual steer box is 18:1 or 22:1, something like that. So, you know, like I said, you get your workout. So, here's what I'm putting in it. Alright, I'm not sure if this yellow tag has any personal information on it, but anyway, this is the pump that I'm using, and actually it's the second one that I ordered. It's 4 conversions for 58 to 64 B-body Chevys. I don't know about Buick, Oldsmobile, Pontiac, Cadillac. Actually, Cadillacs I think were D-bodies, but anyway, not to be confused with B-body Mopars. So it's the full-size Chevys. So this is the power steering pump number. Oops, sorry. Wow, how long was I there? This is the power steering pump assembly for conversions. The first pump that I got did not have the reservoir, so I did have to return it. But anyway, so this one has a reservoir on it. This is the pulley for the power steering pump, and I don't see a number on there. Oh, I guess that's the number right there. Okay, and then this is the bracketry for attaching. And I'll try to remember to put this into the into the description, those part numbers. Also, I have the steering gear upstairs for power steering. I'm in the basement. The car is in the basement garage. So, and I'm wearing slippers. Yeah, it's a hard life. Just kidding. So yeah, let's get this going. So I've already partially assembled the pump, basically just to make sure that it was working correctly. So let me set up a tripod. Alright, I really hope you can hear me. If not, I'll have to redo it. Heat's on too, so that's adding even more noise. So what we have here, I'll show you the pulley first. And that just basically bolts on. So it just attaches on, and then there's a nut that goes on. Oops, then there's a nut that goes on here and holds it onto the power steering pump. So this is the pump. Still got to get a cap, but these two bolts right here will thread into the engine block, and then hopefully, if I did this right, I know this is wrong. I just had the hardware laying around. So this will attach to the, this one will attach to the power steering pump, and the light here is horrible. Here we go. What is this? It almost looks backwards to me, but anyway. So this, this pointer right here, this will attach to the water pump, and then these two will attach to the block. So let's try it. Okay, here we go. Not actually sure how this is going to work. It seems like everything's really tight, and I don't have a bolt for the upper to connect it to the water pump. So we're going to see how this even fits in here, really. Because I don't want to take off the alternator belt because I'm lazy. So let's see. I guess I should have checked to make sure this is the right thread, which it is. Okay. None of that metric crap. I am just kidding when I say metric crap, by the way. Kind of lost it there for a second. I'm actually not sure that this is going to fit in here. Because this belt is hitting right on here. Yeah, interesting. Let me fiddle around with it a little bit and then I'll come back to you. Okay, my battery's almost dead. I got 2 minutes left. Just wanted to let you know that the lower bolt for that is hitting the belt. I can't really show it to you, but you got the one bolt there. The one underneath the belt is holding it up. So I'm going to get some type of a flathead bolt and attach it, and then it should clear. I'll let you know. Alright, I'm back. I know this is hard to believe, but it's been like 2 months later. A lot of fiddle farting around with trying to get the bracket that went right where these two holes are. I actually had to, I'm going to say a big word here, fabricate something like the outside bracket to allow the everything to line up and for the bolt not to hit the alternator belt. It still might get close where I have to cut off the end of the bolt, but I'm done with that. Now I'm just going to clean it up and powder coat it. So I'll show you what I got here. That's not included. Oops, that's not included right now. So I might have to shave off the top of one of these two bolts here. I think they're the same size. Actually, I might shave the length of them off like a 1/4 inch, but then either cut the top of this off or get a regular hex head bolt that's not as deep as this. That's causing me a little bit of a headache, but not horrible. So what I made is I had a piece of this steel, and I made a little offset with it. I welded two pieces together. I'm not a welder, I'm a grinder, if that tells you anything. So yeah, this will go on the outside like this, and then this, then I'll bolt to the pump right here. I'm not gonna worry about that. And then I had to build a spacer behind this one. So I got two pieces of, it's actually, what do you call it? Like electrical box, blank covers. I took one of those and cut it to size so that it would fit behind here. One wasn't enough, so two of them was, to space the pump out far enough so the pulley would align with the proper pulley on the crankshaft. And so there you go. So once I did this, then the two spacers that went between the bolts, okay, and you'll see once I get this together, if I didn't show on the previous part of this video, you got these two spacers, one here, here, so it goes like that. So I had to shorten these spacers up. I don't even remember how much, and actually that's not very even, but so yeah, all of this stuff, and this I had to beat the hell out of, because it was bent improperly and was running right into the power steering pump, and the belt, and the alternator belt, if I remember correctly. So I had to straighten it, bend it, straighten it some more, twist it, bend it. So this is what I've got. It's not pretty, but anyway, I'm going to clean it all up. Scratch it down with some sandpaper, and powder coat it all black, and that'll probably happen tomorrow. So this week's supposed to be a pretty nice temperature wise, so maybe we can get back to working on this stupid thing sometime this week. That would be nice. Okay, so I'm back, and I have to apologize because I forgot to record. What I've done is I put in the lower bracket this piece, oops, fingers right in the way, this piece right here mounts to the power steering pump through this bracket on both sides, and attaches to the engine block with these two. This bracket I had to fabricate myself. The one that came with it kind of stuck out too far, and I just figured that this was the easiest way to fix it. So what I'm going to do now is do the adjuster. Wrong way. I'm going to mount this adjuster. It goes to the lower water pump bolt and then attaches to the pump. And I will have the camera going this time, so you can have fun with me. Hopefully I won't invent any new words, but you never know. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to put this thing on the tripod and see if I can get this done. So I have not figured out the spacer for up here. I'm going to have to take this bolt out, figure out how long the spacer should be, and then see if I have a bolt that will fit through both the water pump spacer and the bracket. So we shall see. Alright, so I just removed the lower bolt, and I can tell you right now it's not going to be long enough. So what I'm going to have to do is figure out the length that I will need, although I do have two washers on here. So I just need to figure out the length, and so let's see if I can move this carefully. Oh, I'm not. I need to figure out that distance right there, cut the spacer, and then find a bolt, and try not to lose all the coolant. Cool. Okay, I've got the spacer. Ooh, that didn't work. Cut the size, and I cut it too short, so I put a washer in there also. Beautiful, right? And I'm ready to put the last bolt in, and it will be done for this part. So let's get to it. I don't know that you need to watch me do this, but you know, whatever. I'm good. I do still have to get a belt, put a belt on this. So, well, it is adjustable. It's still loose enough to adjust. Maybe I tightened it too tight, but so I still need to get a belt. But that's it for this. My next thing that I'm going to attack is replacing the actual steering gear box, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so I guess hopefully the hard part's done. Probably not, but you know, I'm trying to be positive. Back on another beautiful day here in northeastern Illinois. Can't do anything about the yard work being done, but it seems super loud. Maybe it won't be to you. So anyway, think I left off with the pump was installed. Wait, am I focused on the pump? No. So got the pump installed and started working on getting the gearbox removed. And I thought I was going to have a lot of trouble getting the pitman arm removed. I saw horror stories, and I mean, it's a 62. I didn't think it was going to come off. So anyway, I started that yesterday or the day before, and I didn't have the tool to remove the pitman arm, so I rented it and it popped right off today. So I'm going to show you what I've done, and then maybe continue on recording if I can get this camera under there easily. So anyway, what I've done so far, sorry, is I have removed this, loosened this bolt right there. I have loosened that so that the splines, I think you can see the splines right there. Oops. The splines right in the middle there, next to the clamp, they should be loose or maybe loose enough. So I should be able to get that out. And then, so what the light is on right there, let me see if I can narrow that beam down. Right there, that's the pitman arm where it connects to like the tie rods and stuff. That makes the wheels go left and right. Sorry. That connects to the bottom of the steering box. So let's go there and take a look, shall we? Okay. Put another light up here. So this is the pitman arm right here, and I have no camera to look at this point. So the pitman arm is right here. This is the tool that I rented from our local Autozone, and what it does is it clamps onto the top of this, and then the thread that goes into the steering box is right here. I'm sorry if you can't see it. I do apologize, but the thread right here, yes, 2 days ago, I sprayed a bunch of PB Blaster around this and whacked it a few times with the hammer. It didn't come loose until I got this tool. This morning I came out and probably within, I don't know, a turn and a half, it came right off. So as you can see, it's just dropping right off. So we're good. There was a nut on there before. Sorry. There's a nut and washer that was right here, a huge lock washer, and the nut was right here, and that came right off. I'm not going to say it was loose, but it wasn't like super tight or anything. So got that off. Might have to remove it from where it connects to the tie rod. Not sure. But yeah, I'm going to say it's kind of coming together or coming apart. Okay, so now I'm at the point of hopefully removing these bolts that hold the steering box on. I did loosen them up, just to be honest. Again, not sure. Wasn't sure how well this would go, but it seems like it's going pretty easy, and I really hope I'm not in the way. Yes, I could use air tools, but air tools really aren't necessary at this point. And actually, I don't use them as often as I probably used to. Just, I use them for lug nuts and big stuff, to break stuff free. So there's 3 bolts that holds this on. Once I get them all like loosened up where the nuts are right at the edge, I'll probably shut the camera off so I can get in here and get the bolt out, and then I'll come back afterwards. But let's get the 3 loose before. Let's see how do I get to that one. So you can just see it right in here. I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not. So I actually might have to go to the top for this one. I thought I got it from down here, but okay. Hopefully the wrench will hold in the back. Won't come dancing out. Oop. Did I just launch the camera? So if I had an extension with a short socket, I'd probably be okay here. But I think that's far enough. I can go a bit further. Anybody hear the bird in the background? Is that a cardinal? It's spring. I forgot what all the birds sound like. And yes, I know cardinals are here during the winter, but I am not outside during the winter. Alright, one more. Just yesterday, no, not yesterday, I keep saying yesterday, a couple days ago, I just got the snow thrower ready to put away for the summer. That was a good feeling. Just gotta wash it up and it should be good to go. And then I can get the tractor out and mow. We don't have much land here. Any of those that actually know me know that. But I mow our neighbors, so it just makes it easier. Of course, I can't get the tractor out until I can drive this thing, so. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys take a breather from me, and if I run into any problems, I'll come back with the camera. Otherwise, hopefully within 15 minutes, I'll be back. Otherwise, I'll be back with showing some issue that I have. So it's out, and as you can probably see, I wasn't able to disconnect it from the shaft. Loosen this up, but I guess I need to spread this apart right here because it's catching there, even out, it's catching there. So I can work on that real quick. And you can see it's up to the top. So where it connects, where that part connects, is the light still on? Let me turn the light on here. Sorry, guys. I don't know if that's helping or not. See, right here, this connected, this, for lack of a better term, a U-joint. I put that in there previously because I did it steering column in it. If you have a stock one, I don't know, I don't remember how it attaches because that thing's long gone. But I loosened this up and it fell right out. So that's where we're at right now, and I guess now it's a matter of putting a new one in. See what that does. Ready to go in. I ran a tap through all of those holes, and I also ran a die over the bolts because they seemed a little tight. So yeah, it's time to put it on. I centered, I think. I centered the box halfway from lock to lock, so should be good to go. Let's see if I can rig this thing up and make it so you guys can see. Alright, let's see if this works. I think the light's on, and then I got my other light on it. Hopefully you can see. Yeah, I guess let's go. Oh no. Alright, I just found an issue. The bolts are bigger than the holes. I'm going to drill these things out and come right back to you. Bolt and see how it goes. We got some kind of serious weather heading towards us, but I don't think that's for a couple hours away. So I'm just going to keep working at it until it's time to eat. Alright, here we go. I just bumped the camera, so I'll probably screw that up. So, let me see. I don't know if you can see that since I bumped the camera, but I actually have access here. Okay, I got one bolt started. I can rest that on the sway bar, anti-sway bar. And I did bump it pretty bad, didn't I? Sorry about that. So I got this bolt right here started. This bolt, I think you can see the head of it, not quite. Tilt it up. Bolt head right there. From the other side of the frame, I got it started here. So it threads in versus the other one where it had a nut and bolt. So now I just have to do the other two, and hopefully everything else will match up. I'm not sure how much you're gonna see from here. Let me see if I can take a different angle. These are 5/8 inch head on the bolts, in case you're interested. And I don't have a ratchet here for it, so I'm just using the wrench that I had. Cardinal singing away again, or still. I think that's a crown. And I just moved the camera in. Alright, it's kind of dark. I just realized my light needs to be charged, so I have to run in and get it. But I think I left off with installing the gearbox, which is this thing right here. The rag joint from the original one, I didn't even check to see if it would fit. It probably would have fit. However, the shaft was too long, and so I had to cut the shaft. I didn't know, I didn't care about how to remove the rag joint from the shaft. I tried various things and said, you know what, it's not worth it. So what I did is I just cut the rag joint off, and now I have to like cut it to size. I'll show you that right now. So this is the previous one that was on there, the original one, I guess. I don't know if it was the original one, but it's the one that I pulled off of there. And, oops, pushed the wrong button. And those are the same threads right there. I'm not sure if it's focusing. But anyway, those are the same threads. And that doesn't matter. For whatever reason, that doesn't really matter. What matters is not sure if this is gonna, this is the shaft, this that might be too close, that splines up to the steering column knuckle, whatever U-joint type fitting. And then this end is where the old rag joint was. So what I need to do right now is put this into the steering column and measure how long and cut it to size. So let's do that. Okay, new lights. Not new lights, but I got lights. Am I zoomed in? I probably should have my reading glasses on, huh? Let me see, what am I looking at? Okay, so that is the steering column, for lack of a better term, U-joint coupler. Let's call it a coupler, a shaft coupler. Oh yeah, big words. So what I need to do is put that shaft into that coupler and then figure out how far to go to that coupler. No, that, okay, this coupler. So let's do that. So I just placed the shaft in here, and now I'm just going to mark it basically to about this length right here. Cut it, and then what I'll have to do is also this part of the coupler is D-shaped. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but it's like, they call it D-shaped. So this is the round part, and then these two are flat. So I'll have to grind my existing shaft here to that shape. But let's cut this thing to length, and then see where we go from there. Use a trusty black marker. And I'd rather cut it long than short. It will actually stick through the coupler right there. I won't have it stick through because I can just take it and grind it, but I'd rather it be long than short, so I'm going to cut it a little bit long at this point. And yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, it's about to get a little loud, and the air compressor will probably kick on a couple of times. So here we go. All right, so I got the shaft cut to length. I'm going to check the length. Sorry, I'm going to check the length, and then I'm going to figure out where I want to shave this off to get the flat part of the shaft. It probably won't matter, but this is basically going to be a drive shaft, so the U-joints should be in phase. Okay, in all fairness, I cut this a little bit long. The coupler that attaches to the steering box, I had all the way in, and I don't know if you noticed, there's like a little groove in there for that screw to kind of go into to kind of hold it from going back and forth. I had it all the way in. When I was checking the length, I realized that, and then I made sure that I put this screw, this set screw, into that little groove, and I ended up having to cut off about another ½ an inch. So yeah, I'm back. So what I'm doing now is I'm cutting the sides off the circle, or I'm cutting sides into the circle. Doing it manually. So, wish me luck. What I should do, I'm going to do that real quick. I'll probably have to edit it out or whatever. Yeah, I'll do it right now. So I have an old school dial caliper. I'm going to measure the inside length or width that I need to make that lock it down so it can't move. I don't care what the number is. What I want to do is I want to keep this distance handy so that when I'm doing some grinding I can check it, and I'll check it in here every once in a while too. So yeah, so let's start that, I guess. Earplugs in. How to make that parallel. Yeah, right. Never grind on the side of your grinder wheel. Look at that. So it goes on. I don't want to yell. It goes on, but it doesn't go on far enough. So I'm going to kind of keep grinding it slowly, more towards the end, or more away from the end, I guess you could say, so that this will fit on. I really want this to fit on so that I can, I don't know if you can see inside there, so that the hole, so that the shaft is coming through this hole here. I don't know, probably can't see it, but maybe when I get it to that point you'll be able to see it. So let's keep going. So as you can see, it slides on easier, slides on and off easier. Not easy, but, and you can see in there, the shaft is right to the end of that, which is basically where I wanted it to be. So yeah, this is basically where I want it to be. My next thing that I will do is I will take these two set screws with the nuts. I'll remove those, take the marker, make a black mark if it's long enough. Otherwise I'll go and get one that's longer to go in there and actually mark the shaft, and then I will put the drill and kind of drill so that it this set screw has some place to go, and it kind of maybe will hold it a little bit better. So I'll do that on both of these. And that I'll do off camera. You know, I guess you don't need to see that. So I'll probably show you the results, and that's it. Oops. So like basically right here and right here, from here and here. So I think that's probably all I'm going to do for the day on camera. Let me see, I should be back tomorrow because I want to maybe powder coat this, but probably just engine paint it black and reassemble it. If I powder coat it, it'll probably, I don't know what the temperature is tomorrow. I like it to be warmer than cooler. But anyway, I'll be back when I'm assembling it. It's been a few days. I had to get a few parts that I could have ordered earlier but didn't, and a couple of things that just needed to be ordered. So what happened is, as I was putting the new steering box in, well, one of the things, putting the box in, I got it in, and I think I showed that it was in. I still needed to hook up the steering shaft from the steering wheel so that you could actually turn. So once I got that shaft all ready to go in, and the knuckle that I was waiting for, I think I showed that. Had to remove the bolts because it wouldn't fit, because it's the exact length it needs to be. So it needs to be drooped and angled, and not a big deal. However, when I took it apart, one of the bolts broke. So yeah, that was nice. So I've got 2 bolts holding it on. I will be going to get some new bolts. These were grade 5. I'm going to put grade 8 in it. It says it's okay to do that, so I'm going to, because it didn't break off the thread. The thread was fine. It broke off where I had plenty of meat to get a vice grips on it and remove it. Tapped the hole, made sure the hole was fine. So anyway, the shaft and everything is all good. It's all nice and tidy. I think you can see it here. I just put in, I just got the hoses today, this morning actually. So I'm actually just trying to figure out how they fit, and yeah, that's where I'm at. So this is the pressure hose, and that threads into the back of the pump. And then this is the return, which does not thread into the pump. It's just actually hose clamped onto the back. So I'm going to tighten these fittings up that I've got here, and then I'll figure out what I need to do so I don't know if you can see, but where this hose attaches to the back, it's super close to the return line, which is this red nipple. I'm not sure if you're seeing that or not. Anyway, it's the return line. It's really super close, so I might have to do some adjusting, and yeah, we'll go with that. So I'm gonna get these snugged up, and then I'll be right back. Well, I mean, we'll stay live. If my head's not in the way. So these did come with some brass fins. I don't know if I need to use them, and there's no instructions because you're supposed to know what you're doing. So there's these brass fittings that came with the hoses. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that, but I can't figure out where they go. It doesn't seem like there's any place for them to go. So I'm going to not use them right now, and if I got leaks all over the place, then either I'll figure out how these go in, or I'll get a hold of Summit. I had bought these lines from Summit Racing. I can get a hold of them and they'll be able to give me some help. So, okay, that line's tight. Now for the turn line, snug this puppy up. Maybe. I really need a shorter wrench. No, that's all right. You know, I'm going to get a different wrench that doesn't have this fancy end on it. And it's a little shorter. I don't like the way this feels. Treads are okay. Guess you gotta give it a wiggle. That seems better. No, it doesn't feel right. So maybe this is where I need to put one of those brass things. But I don't know how it goes in. I know some of you are probably, if you've done this before, you're saying, hey idiot, it goes here. But I just can't figure out where it would go. They all appear to be the same size. Taper like cone on this side and flat on this side. Where does it go? So it goes in this way, but that doesn't seem to make much sense to me. So if I put that in there, I can't thread it in. So that does not go there. Oh, that's not gonna go. Let me do some thinking. All right, we're good to go. I don't know what was wrong with that return line. It's fine, and I found out the brass pieces that are there are already in the steering gear box, so that one's good. I'm gonna hope that it's on the power steering pump. Again, I'll find out once I put fluid in it and start her up. So yeah, let's go ahead and snug these things up and try and continue on. Alright, I don't know what size the fitting is on the back of the pump, but I'll get all the other stuff tightened up first. Okay. Those are snugged up. It wouldn't be metric, right? Please tell me it wouldn't be. Because I have a 5/8 and a 3/4, and neither one of them wants to fit. So let me slide it underneath. Maybe I'm just not getting a good angle on them or something. And hopefully I don't hit the tripod. Oh, it's 3/4. Okay. We're all good. A loose 3/4. You knew I was going to do that. You knew I was going to do that. I can't imagine this would be metric, but it's feeling like that at this point, which is wonderful. He says sarcastically. So if you do this and you get the exact same kit that I got, which wasn't a kit, so I can't even tell you what I got. Everything is cheapest here, cheapest there. I know that's not the best way to do it, but that's the way I do it. Anyway, the steering box, I don't know if the threads, what they are, I don't know, I don't actually care. The pressure side of the steering gearbox, the fitting was 3/4 of an inch. You could say it's also 19. And the return side was 5/8. And it fit good. I don't know what that would be in metric. I know there's a very close one, or there probably is a close one, maybe 15. I don't know. All I can tell you is that the power out, the pressure out of the pump is a 17. Take that if you will. Do with it as you wish. I'm just telling you what I've found. So it's 3/4, 5/8, and then this is a 17. So I'm going to snug this 17 up and call it quits on this. And there's a lot of room here. Just kidding. It's amazing that, this is a big car. For a big car, there's really not that much room for anything. I'm going to have to go underneath. Alright, that's done. Let's go on to putting the pulley on the power steering pump. Okay, one pulley. Knot. This thread is 9/16 by 18 threads per inch. This right here is 7/8 or 22 millimeter. And the nut is also 7/8 or 22 millimeter. Some of these press on, this one just happens to bolt on. Might be the newer ones that are press on. And don't worry, I will be going back and torquing all of these to spec. I'm just getting everything installed right now. So that is pretty much it. I do have to get a belt. I have to get, I'm getting a weird echo too. I have to get a belt and, oops, the bolts to attach the steering box due to the one that I broke. Or that broke. I broke it, whatever. Let me see. Power steering pump, power steering pump belt, 3 bolts, and a cap, and some fluid. And that will be it. So, I guess that's all they can do for right now. Yeah, this has been a real pain in the butt. Maybe if I had gotten a kit, it would have been less stressful. It's not stressful. I'm retired. It don't matter. But, you know, save a few bucks. That's what I did. And I've learned a few things. Would I get a kit next time? Probably not. I mean, this hasn't been, it's been long, and a lot of that is due to weather, because I'm not going to come out here to work when it's, 30 degrees out. I think I started it maybe in February. I could look back at the dates on the recordings, but I think I started it in late February, and it's now almost the end of April. But yeah, I only worked when it was decent out, and so anyway, so once I get a belt, I might have to run to the store a couple of times to get the belt, because I'm pretty sure I won't get the right belt the first time. So belt, bolts, cap, and fluid, and then she should be done. Alright, see you in 1 second. Alright, I have to apologize. I went and finished the whole thing without having the camera on. So I'll kind of explain maybe what I did that I haven't already explained already. Get out of the way here. I think I went over the belt, and I had to go to Autozone twice, which is fine because it's just kind of like around the corner here now. I got the too short one first, and then I got this one. I believe that this one might actually be what is suggested or whatever for an original Impala, Bel Air, Biscayne, whatever. I'm not sure. I will try. Yeah, I'll insert a picture of the. Actually, I'll put in the description all of the parts that I used. All of the main parts, not like the little bolts and stuff like that. But I'll put in all of the, like the belts, the steering box, maybe the lines, the power steering lines, the pump, and that filter. Not everybody, but a lot of people suggested you put a filter in here. I'm like, alright, that's fine. In fact, I might put filters in the rest of our cars. But anyway, so I completely went through, lifted the front of the car up, and turned the wheel back and forth, and it's fantastic. Having said that, I haven't driven it yet, but the effort needed is incredible compared to what it was before. And the amount of turns, lock to lock, is 4. Actually, I think it's specified as 4.1 or something like that. Let's just say 4. And before, I had to turn it more than 4 times just to go around a corner. That's from centered on. So I don't know what it's specified at from factory. The manual box. I believe it said the original box was 22-to-1 ratio, and the one that I put in was 14-to-1. Does that sound right? I think it's a 500 box. If that means anything to you, if you're looking at this, it probably does. So the only thing I had problems, if you got a good steering pump bracket, you wouldn't have to go through all the shit that I went through trying to make it fit, because straight out of the box or bag or however it came, it would not work, period. This has been bent, cut, a new one for the front, a new bracket I made for the front. The lower bolt, I think I should be able to go down to it. That bolt right there, whoops. I had to, wait, no, the bottom one right there. Anyway, there's about a 1/4 inch clearance. I'm still not positive I'm going to stay with that, but if I would have kept the original front bracket, it would have hit. So I would either have to get a smaller bolt, smaller head bolt, not a head bolt, but a smaller head on the bolt, or what I did, and then I still might get a smaller headed bolt. We'll see. See, the other thing, the back of the pump, towards the top, it was about 1.5 inches above the pressure line that goes to the gear box. That there was an open port there, and I remember it when I took it out of the box. I never did anything with it. Well, I installed it and it leaked like a sieve. I was not able to figure out, there was a port up there. I could not figure out what the threads were. So I made my own. I ended up, the thread size seemed to be a metric 1.25 threads per whatever. One thread maybe per millimeter? Yeah, probably. Nothing else on that pump was metric, but that's what seemed to match up. An 8mm bolt was loose, and I could not get a 10mm 125 in there. I ended up cutting the threads to a 9mm. You know what? Nobody has 9mm bolts, so I had to order those from the jungle website, as some people say, through Amazon. I'm not going to put those part numbers, because if you do this, maybe you can actually figure out what the thread is. There were threads in it, but I couldn't figure out what they were. So, I mean, it's done. So, for now, this thing is done as far as that kind of stuff goes. I'm going to do some stuff inside. I put new seat covers on the seats. Going to put the glove box in it. Just kind of finish it out. You can kind of see the seat covers versus the factory seats, I think. I'm not just Let me just open the door. So you can see the back seat. And then the front seat. And then I'm going to put, and I know there's no light. Let me get a light. So I'm going to put the glove box. I have to buy the glove box. It's just like, believe it or not, it's cardboard. Put that in there and then I can put the front door on it. Here's my glove box that I have. It's been duct taped and it's kind of not in good shape. So yeah, that's kind of all that I'm doing on this from now on. I don't have anything else that I need or want to do to it. So I'm going to call it until I paint it. And you know, I'm probably not going to show that because I'm not going to do it right. And I don't need you guys telling me I'm doing it wrong. Or maybe you won't. Maybe you'll be like, hey, that looks good to me. But anyway, my next project will be to put front shocks on the Impala. I put new shocks on it from Coney, probably around 2000-ish. And the rears are fine. But the fronts just, it's like not having your trim set right on your motorboat. And the front just goes up and down, up and down, up and down when you hit a, not a bump, but a smooth bump. So they're here. I just need to put them on. So I'll probably put them on now, but right now I gotta clean up the mess, and it's quite a mess. Obviously I'm not gonna show the oil change and all that kind of stuff because really it was bad enough a couple years ago. I think I showed me putting the snow tires on this. So anyway, this is it, and I want to thank you for watching, and I guess, you know, get out there and work on your junk. Nobody else is going to. See ya.